EcosimPro and PROOSIS are software tools for simulating and modeling systems. In this tutorial, we will show you how to create a schematic consisting of a tank that is connected by a pipe system to two other tanks. You will also learn how to edit the data of the components that make up a schematic, how you can use a schematic encapsulated in a symbol to build more complex models with that component. First, we select the workspace. Right-click on it to open the contextual menu with the New Schematic option. Click on it to create your new schematic. Type in the name of the schematic, the company, author, and description, and click on OK. Now you can go about creating the schematic. To do this, you'll need some components from the hydraulic library. Select the library and drag the different components from the Symbols tab. Drag the three tanks and the system of pipes that connects them into the drawing area of the schematic. Then, click on the connection icon of the components and connect the different ports in the model. Now let's look at how to edit the data of the components that make up a schematic and share some thoughts on editing model properties in general. Choose the components and right-click to pull up the context menu with the Edit Attributes option to get the data and parameters associated with it. Now click on Edit Properties in the contextual menu in the schematic area to get the different variables of the model and be able to assign different properties to each. The schematic can now be compiled. Click on the Compile button on the toolbar. Check in the output area that the schematic has been compiled correctly. Finally, notice that we now have another element in the Items tab, the component created from the schematic. Now, let's look at how you can encapsulate a schematic in a symbol that represents the complete system component with an individual input port and two individual output ports so that you can reuse it as external connections to other systems. Select the hydraulic library and drag the hydraulic ports from the Symbols tab to connect them to the tanks. Then connect the ports to the tank input and output port. Next, click on the compilation icon of the toolbar. Compiling shows there is a problem with the individual ports connected to the output ports of the tank. It tells us that the port must be the out type. Select the ports and change them to the out type. In the toolbar, you can now click on the Generate Symbol of a Component icon. Clicking on the component that represents the schematic displays the symbol editing area. Here, you can make any graphical modifications needed to represent the component. Once you've saved the symbol, you can find it in the Symbols tab of the library. Now let's look at how a schematic encapsulated in a symbol can be used to build more complex models using that component. Select the workspace and right-click on the New Schematic option in the contextual menu to create a new schematic. Write the name of the schematic, the company, author, and description, and click on OK. Now you can create the schematic. To do this, drag the symbol that represents the previously made schematic into the workspace. In addition, we need other components from the hydraulic library. Select the library and drag the different components from the Symbols tab. Finally, click on the connection icon of the components and connect the different ports of the model. You have now generated a new component with its associated symbol, which contains the system we represent with an external input port and two external output ports.